Hi, my name is Pete Hahn, and thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of video tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to this video. This is the video that was almost not a video. And the reason being is the indicator that I managed to create, it just caught my eye, and I thought to myself, boy, this is I really like this indicator, and maybe I shouldn't give this away for free. But after all, I'm not a professional trader, so what good is it going to do me? I'm not going to make trades with it. So as much as you might think this indicator is going to make you a ton of money, look, it's been developed by someone who knows how to write code and knows how to customize a Thinkorswim platform. So don't think that I'm giving away the what do they call it? The Holy Grail, right? I'm not giving away the Holy Grail. I don't know. I never found it. But what I do know how to do is customize your Thinkorswim platform to help you become more efficient and effective and spend better quality time in front of charts instead of thumbing through hours and hours of endless nothingness. The basis for this video came from feedback received from a viewer. One of our viewers posted a comment to the Facebook page for Hahn-Tech LLC, and in correspondence with that viewer, I found out that what they were really looking for is something to take a MACD indicator and use it to give them a short-term trend indication, a medium-term trend indication, and a long-term trend indication. And I ended up introducing this viewer to a new concept to them. You may have already heard of this. It's called multi-time frame analysis. Although I'm not a professional trader, I have studied under several. And one thing I found in common, the ones who demonstrate that they can consistently earn money in the markets all have the same thing in common. They all use multiple time frames to set up their trade. They get the direction from one time frame and they get their setup from another time frame. And maybe a third time frame might be thrown in there as a filter. In fact, some will even use up to 4 or 5 time frames to develop their trend analysis and set up their trades. So this indicator is a MACD indicator that takes advantage of 3 time frames. The base time frame is the time frame on the chart. As you can see here, in the hourly time frame for this chart, to 1 hour bars, and you see here an indication with the little green label, time frames are correct. If that turns red and it says time frames are wrong, it means you have selected incorrect time frames for your medium and long-term trends. When we get in to show you the settings, you'll see exactly how that's set up, and I'll show you examples of how to do it wrong and examples of how to do it right. So as you can see in the currently displayed chart, we have a histogram. This is a standard MACD histogram. You can see the chart MTF MACD, and then below that is a standard MACD. It's been slightly modified, just coloring the bars. That's the only modifications for that. You got a bright red moving to dark red as it goes higher, and then you've got a light green moving to dark green as it starts to move lower, right? That's the only modification to this MACD at all. So you can see between the two, they plot exactly the same. So the histogram and the 2 lines are plotting from the currently assigned time frame on the chart, which again is 1 hour. Got it? Okay. Now let's talk about these histogram colors. You see gray and you see green, and way over here to the right you see a single red bar. I'm going to explain those so that you understand how those are being colored. I'll explain the logic so that you understand. So we have 3 different colors in the histogram. As I said, we have gray bars which are neutral, we have green bars which are trending up, and we have red bars which are trending down. Okay? Now, a bar can be colored green only if the base time frame, which in this case is 1 hour, as well as the 2 higher time frames that you've selected for this indicator are also trending higher. So all 3 time frames must be in agreement before you can get a color other than gray. Gray simply means that of the 3 time frames, one or more are not in agreement or are in fact contradictory to the others. So when you see a green or a red, what it's telling you is the MACD indicator values for all 3 time frames are lined up in the same direction, right? Sort of like getting the stars lined up. And that's all there really is to it. The code was quite an ordeal to create. It took me about 6.5 hours. And I wanted to make sure I did a really good job of developing it so that you have plenty of parameters, plenty of freedom to adjust it, to use it as you see fit. So before we get into examining the parameters and how you can adjust this indicator for your own charts, I want to run through a few of the charts. I've selected 1, 2, 3, 4. I've selected 4 stocks that I want to examine with you and just show you what the indicator looks like on the chart. Like I said, be sure to stick around. The link is going to be posted inside the video. You're not going to miss it as long as you watch it all the way through, the explanation of how to use the indicator, how to adjust it on your platform. It'll be up for 30 seconds. You'll be able to click on it. It will take you to another page where you can download this indicator to your Thinkorswim platform. Okay, so in this case you can see that the 3 time frames were all lined up in the positive direction except for one bar here. Somebody fell offline, and so then we had continuation with the histogram higher. So let me scroll the chart to the right a little bit, and you can see that over here we had several places where all 3 time frames were lined up in the same direction, and they happen to be in the down direction, and the bars are turning red. Okay, we'll scroll this a little bit further to the right, and you can see another location where all 3 time frames of the bars began to trend in the same direction upward, and you have the green bars. So where you have gray, that means that you don't have all 3 time frames in alignment. Alright, so you only have all 3 time frames in alignment when you have red or green. I'm repeating myself, but it's on purpose. Okay, so we'll scroll this all the way to the right, and then we'll minimize this. Behind the scenes here, this screen is full size right now, it's maximized. I'm going to double click up here in this blue bar, and it's going to bring us back to the regular setup that I have, and this has all 3 time frames that I'm using for this indicator shown right here on the chart. On the left side we have the weekly time frame, in the middle is the daily time frame, and the hourly time frame that we were just viewing in full screen is shown here all the way to the right. What I want to do is I want to click on a few of these stocks here, and then I want to show you exactly how that all lines up, and so you can see it. So I'm going to scroll this middle one a little bit to the left so we catch this little peak here, and you see how my cursor is lined up. You see the weekly and the daily chart. The cursor is synced between the 2 charts. Wherever I place it on the middle chart, the weekly chart cursor, the vertical line there that you see, follows along with it. Now if you don't know how to set that, I want to show you real quick, and then we'll move on. Okay, so to get your cursor to sync between your charts, simply click the Style button, and from Style select Settings, and it's right here on the very first tab, General. You go down to the bottom section where it says Synchronize. You can synchronize drawings, or you can synchronize crosshair position. You just check that box and hit Apply and OK, and then you should see that your cursor is synchronized between your multiple charts. Okay, so let's scroll this hourly chart to the left and see if we can get it caught up with the others, because I want you to see how the 3 different time frames come together to make this indicator do what it does. Alright, this should make it pretty clear. Now you can see with the synchronized cursor, the vertical line on all 3 time frames. You got the weekly on the left, the daily in the middle, and the hourly on the right. You can see that as we move into this first red bar in the histogram, you can see that we've got all 3 time frames in agreement. We have a lower bar on the weekly, and we have a lower bar on the daily, and we have a lower bar on the base time frame, which is the hourly. And that is when all 3 time frames are lined up together that the multiple time frame MACD indicator is able to paint a bar red or green. In this case, red. Okay, So let's zoom all these back to the right, and if you don't have that down just yet, I just want to show you another stock here. And so we got a few examples to go by. Let's scroll this over and see where we get. I'm just gonna zoom this across here so you can see. If you're following the cursor on all three time frames, then I'm just going to move my cursor along here as you see this little dip in the middle here that I'm indicating, this little basing out kind of period. And so what do you get on the multi-time frame MACD histogram? You got nothing but grays here. You had a few reds, and it's gray, gray, gray. You get some more reds here. You don't get any greens throughout this whole little basing out period here. And then let's see, there's our first little spot of green. So we get a little bit of green here, another green spot here, and so you can see that it's merely picking out the fact that all three time frames are in alignment. There's no magic here. There's no pixie dust. It's no holy grail. It's just multiple time frame alignment. That's all it is. Okay, so I'll show you one more chart. Let's see, this one is Facebook. And I was just picking these at random. I'm just looking at charts, trying to find good examples. I'm not trying to tell you one's good to buy or not. Just like I said, I'm not trading. I'm writing code. Let's see. We'll scroll through here, and let's look at that. Okay, so so you see the weekly and the daily, and you see we're in a bunch of red here, and then we start to get a little bit of green. And I'll scroll this to the right a little bit more. We don't get any red. It's all green. It's all green. It's either gray or green. And so you can see kind of how this indicator looks and how the time frames line up. Okay, so all right, so now that you've seen the charts and you understand how it's using the three different time frames, now I can get into the parameters of this indicator and show you how to make the adjustments to set it up the way you want. Let's say you don't want a weekly, a daily, and an hourly. Let's say you want to use an hourly, a 15-minute, and a 5-minute. I'm going to show you how to do that, and after that I will post the links so that you can download this indicator to your own Thinkorswim platform. Alright, we'll jump right into it, and I will double click on this little blue section of the title bar, and that will maximize the screen. Okay, now with the full screen here, it'll be a lot easier for me to show you how to modify the parameters of this study. Let's go to Edit Studies, and then let's go ahead and click on the gear icon. Alright, so you can see these first two parameters, the midterm period and the long-term period. These are currently set to daily and weekly. And you can see the list that I've got available here. It's a fixed list. There's nothing in between. For instance, a 3-minute and a 5-minute. You can't go from 5 to 10. You have to go from 5 to 15. That's just the way it is. I apologize if that irritates you, but I tried to provide as many options as were reasonable. Next, you have the fast and slow length and the MACD length. This is just standard settings, 12, 26, 9. And as you scroll down, you can see that you can change the fast, the slow, and the MACD length also for the midterm as well as the long term. Okay? So make sure you understand, we got 12, 26, 9. Those parameters appear for each of the time frames that are referenced. So it is possible with this indicator you can set your base time frame MACD to one setting. Let's say you've got a favorite setting that's not the standard, 12, 26, 9. Well, then you can go to your middle time frame and you can make it different. You can make it totally different if you want. And so the parameters are there. Next, I'll show you the plots. You've got the standard 3 plots that are available on every MACD, which is the value, the average, and the diff. The diff becomes the histogram. Those are standard and they're all set to show plot as default. In addition to the 0 line, which is plotted by default, there are another 2 plots that are available that you can turn on if you want to see what the indicator is doing behind the scenes. You have the midterm diff and you have the long-term diff. These 2 plots are the medium-term and long-term MACD histogram, and you can plot those on your chart simply by selecting the tab and then clicking the Show Plot button. So I've just turned on the midterm diff We'll hit OK, and we'll hit apply and OK. And now you can see this line here. You see it change from blue to red, and you can see that it takes big steps. Well, the steps encompass an entire day. Why? Because the midterm trend is set to daily. So every day is going to be a new step in this plot. Let's go back to Studies, Edit Studies, press the gear icon. Now I'll go to the long-term trend diff, and I'll click the Show Plot to turn that on, hit OK and apply and OK. And now you can see that this other line doesn't take a step but every 5 days. So you got 1 day here, 2, 3, 4, 5 days before it takes a step from one level to another. Okay? You can see that on either side of this. So this line here is based on the third time frame, which is your weekly time frame. It's currently set to weekly. Okay? So you can turn those on if you need to see what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to go into Edit Studies, going to press the gear icon, and I'm going to turn those two off. I don't believe that they're really needed during the use of this indicator because, after all, this is the purpose of the indicator, to clear everything up for you so that you don't have to look at 3 different time frames. It's all right here on one chart. I want to show you one more thing, and then I will post the link and give you guys an opportunity to download this indicator to your platform. Oh, I almost forgot. Guys, this is really, really important. There is an option on Thinkorswim's platform for selecting how the aggregation periods are started. You can set them to start at market open, or you can set them to use natural hours. And so I'm going to show you step by step here how to make sure that your platform is set up correctly. So we'll go to Studies, click Edit Studies, I'll click the gear icon. For now I'm going to turn on the plot for the mid and long term indicators so that you can see them. See that this blue line here that turns red, it's solid. Now you go to Style, Settings, and it's going to be in the Equities tab. Move this out of the way a little bit so you can see the lines. Here it is down at the bottom, Start Aggregation at Market Open. I'm going to check this now, and look what happens to the chart once I hit Apply and OK. You see that gap there? That gap is no good for this indicator. Okay, so that option needs to be unchecked for any instrument you're trading. I'll show it to you again. We'll go to Style, go to Settings, go to the Equities tab, and find the bottom option there called Start Aggregations at Market Open, and uncheck that box. If it's checked, it will make this indicator, well, it won't be accurate, quite honestly. And it's also an option available in the Options and Futures tab. So whether you're charting this indicator with equities, options, or futures, make sure Start Aggregations at Market Open is unchecked. That's just a part of the Thinkorswim platform. With that box checked, it disconnects it from the higher time frames. There's really very little I can do about it. And that last thing I wanted to show you is how you can adjust the time frames. If I change this time frame to match the midterm time frame that's currently assigned to the study, you'll see that you get an indication here that the time frames are wrong. If you see red here and it says the time frames are wrong, you've got something adjusted incorrectly. So let's take a look at this. We'll go to Studies, Edit Studies, press the gear icon. Okay, and so I want to show you, you have the midterm and the long term. The midterm is set to daily. That means your base time frame, the time frame the indicator is placed on, cannot be the same as the midterm or the long-term time frame. It has to be lower. So in this case, the base time frame has to be something lower than daily. Now, if we wanted to change the long-term to monthly, and we wanted to change the midterm to weekly, we can press OK, Apply, and OK. And we can see now we get an indication that the time frames are correct. Now let's take this down to maybe a 5-minute. What's happening is the 5-minute is the base time frame. but it's still looking at a weekly and a monthly time frame to get the alignment. So let's go to Edit Studies, press the gear icon. Let's change the midterm to the next time frame up, which is 15 minutes. And let's change the long term to, let's select an hourly. And we'll click OK, apply, and OK. And we can see that the time frames are correct. And the histogram colors have been modified so that they show the correct alignment of the time frames. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you guys. It's very important that you understand that last little piece that I covered, and that's why I waited till now to post the link so that you can download this indicator. Because if you don't understand how to stack those time frames for the base, the midterm, and the long term, if you don't understand how to stack those correctly, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to say it doesn't work and you're going to say it's broken. So you got to make sure that you stack those time frames correctly. Long term is the highest time frame, midterm is something less than that, and then the base time frame has to be less than either of those two. So either go starting from the highest time frame, long term hourly, midterm 15-minute, base time frame 5-minute. That's how you stack them. Okay, so you got the link in the upper left hand corner, and that link will direct you to a download page on the Hahn-Tech website. That will enable you to download the indicator from the Google Drive. Now, if you're not sure, if you haven't seen any of my videos and you're not sure how to take that file and install it on your Thinkorswim platform, I'll go ahead and link another video, this one in the upper right, and that is called Display Name of Saved Chart. It's in that video that I describe how to install indicator from a file that you save to your desktop, whether somebody sends it to you or you download it from some other location. So I've left those links up there for plenty of time here for you to go ahead and get those. And I hope that this indicator helps you become more efficient and effective at what you do. I hope it gives you inspiration and ideas for more ways that you can customize a Thinkorswim platform to make your chart time quality chart time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Thanks, and take care.